and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're going to start with you understanding the human being comprehensively and the human aspirations and its fulfillment. This has been the class 6 that we have to discuss here, where we had completed your 5 classes, where we had discussed your unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. We had started, and if hopefully if it is not exceeded an hour the time limit, so yes, sure, you will complete that unit 3 here itself. Unit 3 is the name is your activities of the self, that what we have to discuss here. In the same cases where we had discussed many of the topics here in the last classes, and that what we have to discuss here in the next coming classes as well. And in the same cases, the class firstly we have done here, that is, before starting with this, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go through with the subscribe button, and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and everything you can also enjoy the video as well. In same cases, why are the physical facilities required? What do you mean by right utilization of the body as well? Where we had discussed about that, yeah, right utilization, protections and productions that are main constraints when physical facilities are ensured. Normally, we tend to believe that the body is an instrument for the sensory enjoyment, which is not correct. We also happen to our body to explain the other human beings on rest of their natures, which is also not right utilization. Body in the instrument of the self, and the body needs to be given nutrition, protection and utilized to work as an efficient and effective as well. Tools for the right purpose, and the utilization of the term as right utilization. In another word, that employing our body as an instrument for the sensory enjoyment and to explicit other human being in the rest of their nature of the right utilization. On the contrary, utilizing our body for right behavior and work is actually the right utilization of the body as well. That is the physical facilities that provided by, and what do we mean by the right utilization of the body as well. Now we'll discuss about here, that is being about another one. It is in terms of it, like describe the various activities of the self and body. So understanding the activities in the self and the activities in the body as well, that we have to talk about it. So various activities of self and body. So understanding activities in the self and activities in the body, that we have to talk about it. So if you look at the variety of the activities that we are engaged in commonly, we see that when we put them in the 3 categories, the first category is activities that are going on the self, second is activities that are going on the body, third is activities involving both the self and the body as well. Activities in the self are, that is, analyzing, imagining, dreaming. Just write it down for you, so that you can go ahead and you just write it down for the same as well. Understanding activities in the self, that we have to talk about it. So here for the same, we have your analyzing, second is imaging, third is dreaming, fourth is desiring, fifth is understanding, sixth is feeling, seventh is speaking, eighth is believing, the ninth is thinking. Okay, In the same cases, these activities are going on in as us, us all the time, and we are usually unaware of them. If we start paying attention to them, we can become aware of them. We can also see that these activities takes place irrespective of the state of the body. Now we'll talk about the activities involving both the cells and the body, that has been R, and that has been responsible for the same as well. So we'll go ahead here. Activities involving both the self I and the body R. So here there are some activities that we do in which both I and body are involved. So the decisions and choices are made in I, and these are carried out via the body, and these activities are. So first we'll talk about listening. Second is seeing. Third is talking. Fourth is eating. Fifth is walking. So that take an example of eating here. I first that is decide which food to eat, then make the choice to take the food inside the body, use my hands to carry the food to the mouth, use the mouth to chew the food, and then swallow it. Thus, eating is an activity which involves both the self-I, where the choices is being made, and the body with which the activity is carried out. Activities, now we'll discuss about activities in the body, but only with the consent of I. Activities in the body, but only with the consent of I. The body is a set of self-organized activities that are occurring with self-I's consent but without my I's active participation, and these are functions like which is first is your nourishment, second is breathing, third is heartbeat, fourth is blood flow, fifth is digesting. Now we'll talk about another one, which is to define the sensations. As I told you in the last classes that we have to discuss about the sensations as well, and that is being important here. In terms of sensations here, that the question being asked here is explain sensation or define sensation. So you have to define accordingly what they had told you about, and on the same cases when they had asked you about sensation, you have to answer it out as well. And on the same case, that the sensation is a type of feeling that picked up by one of the five senses. A sensation is something from your senses. If you lose sensation in your feet, they are numb, and it is the time for you to get up, move around to restore blood flow. You can call something a sensation if it is a wonderful and astonishing. A perception associated with stimulations of sense organ or with a specific body condition is known as sensation. Suppose we had seen the bike and not associated it with a greatness, rather we only like the way it looked, then this is based on the sensations as well. We'll talk about another question, that is what do you mean by the imagination. We'll discuss about it here only, or what is imagination. In terms of imagination, the activities of desire, thoughts, and expectations at the level of self are collectively called as imagination. Imagination is equals to the desires plus thoughts plus expectation as well. We all imagine at the most of our activities in the self today that can be mostly clubbed into the imaginations here. And this activity of imaginations in I is a continuous and not temporary. The power may change, but the activity is continuous. The object of the taste may be changed, but the activities of the selecting tasting is continuous. Also, what we analyze may keep changing. The activity of analyzing is continuous. We make choices with the external world based on our imagination today. Next week question we talk about it. Harmony in I means understanding the characteristics and activities of I. So that what we have to discuss here. So the characteristics of I or self that we have to talk about it, and the activities of I as well that we talk about here. So we'll go ahead here. Characteristics of I or self of activities of I. This is we have to discuss about it. I ourselves we can say that. On the same cases, first we'll talk about the characteristics of I here. In the same cases, the self actual that actualized people that embrace the unknown and the ambiguous, they accept themselves together with all their flaws. They do not seek to shock or disturb. They are motivated by growth, not by the satisfaction it needs. Self-actualized people have purposes. They share a deep relationship with a few, but also feel identification and affection towards the entire human race. As well as, despite all this, self-actualized peoples are not perfect here. In terms of talking about the activities of I here, the activities that go on within the self and imagine, analyzing and selecting the that tasting as well. In terms of activities of the self and I, which is a power, activity, desire, imaging, thought, analyzing, expectation is selecting and tasking as well. That is tasking as well. And in the same case for the body that I'm talking about, so the body, that the flow of the information from the selves to the body in the both the ways. Basically there are the two possible flows of these activities, and both of them keep tasking, taking place constantly. The first kind of a flow is from outside the body to the inside the self. And this kind, the flow of information, the self receives sensations from the body, and this is experienced in self based on the input thoughts form of the self and the design that are set. For example, we see house by our eyes, and then we start thinking about the house and slowly form an image that living in such a house will enable us to lead a good life. Thus the desire to buy the house becomes a part of us as well. On the other hand, the kind of the flow is from inside ourself and outside body. For example, now we have a desire to lead a good life by living in that house. So we start to think about it and start analyzing how we can achieve it. We analyze the cost of our current buying capacity and the various other things. Finally, we make the selections of customizing it to our lives in terms of colors of walls, choices of furniture, etc. Here the flow was from inside us to outside as well. To conclude, these activities of desires, thoughts, and expecting, selecting all the easily noticeable, and we can sense them. If we put these activities together, we can term them as imagination, where imagination is equals to your desires plus thoughts plus expectation as well. Now we'll discuss about how recognizing and fulfilling in the self depends upon knowledge or assuming as well. So when it comes to self I, which is your conscious entity, and in addition to recognizing and fulfilling, there is also the activity of assuming, that of knowing. In fact, recognizing and fulfilling in the case of the human being will depend upon knowing and our assuming as well. If we assume that we all make an assumptions, and our response, recognitions, and fulfillment is dependent on the assumptions. For example, if I see a snake and assumed it to be a rope, I shall respond differently to it. Then if I take it to be a snake itself, we call this activity assuming, or that is your manana. We recognize that we all recognize things today. We recognize a variety of things, like we recognize water, our parents, friends, etc. We call this activity recognizing, and that is, you can say that, pehchana. The recognizing is I depends on assuming here. We fulfill, so that the response that fulfill follows the recognition is called depends upon the recognition. For example, once we recognize what or we take it, taken together we can write it as like assuming tends to recognizing tends to fulfilling. So this is the another activity that exists in us in I, and this activity is called knowing. Knowing means we have the right understanding, the understanding of harmony at all the levels of living. When we have the right understanding, when we have the knowledge of reality, it is a definite, and then assuming becomes according to the knowing, and hence recognizing and fulfilling becomes definite and according to knowing as well. Until then, it is subject to belief and assumptions, and thus keeping changing when we list them down here. So knowing leads to assuming, assuming leads to recognizing, that leads to fulfilling. And we can say that janana janna that leads to manana, just manna, yeah, janna then leads to manna, leads to pehchanna, and leads to nirvaha karana. That is we have here. In the same cases, you will discuss about the explain the activities of realizations and understanding, and how do they lead harmony in the activities of I. So realization and understanding. Realization and understanding. So in terms of realization and understanding here, in terms of realization, realization means to be able to see the reality as it that it is in the realization. Is it in realization we get the answer to what is the reality that is, and this is for each one of us, that translate into the answer to what to do and why to do. When we operate on the basis of realization and gaze understanding, according to the realization, then it give definiteness and the certainty and makes us self-organize as well. Coming towards understanding, the understanding means to be able to understand the self-organization in all entities of the, that is your nature, existence, and their interconnected organization as it is. We are able to see the harmonious interconnectedness to all the levels of our living. Understanding plays an important role in a desire making. When we do not have the right understanding, our desires, thoughts, and selections we make, and finally in our behavior and our work. On the other hand, when our understanding is based on the realization and we use this understanding in desire making, then and a desire will be the correct, and thoughts and solution that a selection that will be according to the understanding as well. So these are the two activities in the self I that plays at the point 1 and 2 in the figure will desired here. On the same case, when we have a one realization and then second is understanding, that becomes according to the realization, and when this happens, then of course the third matching to the desire that get to according to understanding. Consequently, analysis and the thoughts becomes according to the imagined desires, and hence the expectations or selection taste that are according to the thoughts and analysis as well. This is called self-organization, and that is your swatantrata. This leads to happiness and its continuity. In realization and understanding, we get the answer to what is the reality. Thus, for each one of us translates into the answer to what to do and why to do. Then what remains to find out how to do, which come from the imagination, that is activities we have, is we see today we are focusing and how to do, without trying to first verify what to do and why to do. It is just like traveling in a comfortable AC vehicle on a smooth road without knowing where we have to go here. On the same cases, we'll go ahead with another question that we have to talk about it, that how harmony is individual possible, that we have to discuss here. So how harmony is individual is possible. So in the same cases here that we talk about it, so that harmony in the self smoothing that leads to the harmony that at all the levels of being. This understanding is essential for each of us to live a life of fulfillment and continuous harmony as well. The four-step process that leads to the harmony to the selves here, becoming aware that the human in the coexistence of the self and I and the body, becoming aware that the body is only an instrument of the self and I is a seer, doer and enjoyer, not the body, becoming aware of the activities of the self's desire, thoughts and expectations, and then put these desires, thoughts and expectations to the test of your own natural acceptance. Understand the harmony in all the levels in existence that leading into realization and understanding, which is in turn that led to sense of definiteness in our desires, thoughts and expectation. This attainment of harmony leads to a clear flow with no contradictions or conflict. So we have a bottom understanding of ourselves and our basic aspirations, and its way in which we can fulfill this aspiration as well. Thus, we have a better understanding of all the things around us and our relationship with all those around us. This leads to us as a state of being swatantra, and we will become self-organized in our imagination, behavior and work, resulting in continuous happiness and prosperity as well. We'll talk about the another one, which we'll talk about it, how human mind gets influenced as that is your conditions or the sensations, and preconditioning influence our inspirations as well. So you just will go ahead for the same. So basically for that we have your human mind gets influenced, human mind gets influenced. In the same cases here, when our activities are not guided by our natural that is acceptance, then they are guided by preconditioning and of course the sensations as well. Where preconditioning means we have assumed something about our desires on the basis of prevailing the notions about it. We have not verified the desires in our own right here. And the sixth sensations is the perceptions associated with stimulations of the senses organs or with a specific body condition. The sensations of the heat and the visual sensation, talking about the conflicts and contradictions or in I as a result of preconditional desires that we have to talk about it, that we have not verified the desire, thoughts and expectations in us on the basis of our own natural acceptance. As a result, these desire, thoughts and the selections that are in conflict, since the desires are in the conflict, the thoughts they have arise the two are also in conflict, and in turn the selections from the thoughts that are also in conflict as well. Short-lived nature of the pleasures from sensation, where the pleasures obtained from sensation is short-lived. The external object is temporary in nature, in contact to the external that is your object with the body is a temporary in nature. The sensation from the body I is a temporary, and at last the taste of the sensation from the body is I is also temporary. The need of the I continuous, that is you want happiness and its continuity as well. So where with the same cases here that has been, therefore if the source for our happiness is temporary for the definition, then our need for continuous happiness will never be fulfilled, and hence any sensation we have from our body we cannot be the source of our lasting that is happiness. We operate largely on the basis of the environment that is driven from outside, either from sensations or based on a preconditioning as well. The questions we have to talk about it where that is being, what are the reasons for human happiness and dissatisfaction, and how we can fulfill the need for the continuous happiness as well. And the question is, human being is more than just the body, explain. Another question, the need of the self are qualitative, illustrate. And I is the conscious unit, which is the body in the material unit, examine this statement, describe various activities of the self and body. Harmony in I means understanding the characteristics and activities of I. Explain the activities of realization and understanding, how do they lead to the harmony in the activities of I as well. That what we had end up here. And after talking about that, yes, we'll discussing about the next coming unit, which has been the unit 4 in the next coming class, and this has been the unit 3rd. We had end up with this, which is to in the next unit is your understanding the coexistence with other orders as well, that what we have to talk about it. Other than that, we talk about it. So yes, we had done your sociology and software engineering, and after talking about that, we had dealing with the chemistry of class 12, where that has been the important for academic as well as for the competition as well. And that is we had done here is unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5, unit 6, unit 7, unit 8, unit 9, and we had done your conversions, logarithms, and your symbols, elements, atomic mass, and molar masses as well. After talking about that, we had dealing with the DBMS, where we are dealing with the different types of ER diagram as well, and that has been important for you as what we had uploaded here. After talking about that, we are dealing with the quantitative aptitude, where we had started with arithmetical ability, where we had done operations on numbers, LCF and SCF of numbers, decimal fractions, simplification, square roots and cube roots, and then we had done your problems on numbers, problems on ages, sorts and indices, and percentage we are dealing here. After completing that, we'll start discussing about another topic as well. In terms of reasoning, reasoning has been divided into two sections, which is verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. In verbal reasoning, we had done your verbal reasoning, which has been the general mental ability and the logic reasoning in some same cases. And for the same, after talking about that, in non-verbal reasoning, we had done your series, analogy, classification, analytical reasoning, mirror image, water image, embedded figure, completions of incomplete pattern, figure matrix, paper folding, paper cutting, rule detection, grouping of identical figures, and then we had done your grouping of identical figure, rule detection, and then after that we had done your which is cubes and dice that we are doing here right now, that is with the 14th topic, and we had completed that. We'll surely start discussing about another topic, which is being the dot situations here in the next coming classes here. Talking about understanding the human being comprehensively and the human aspirations and fulfillment, where we had discussed unit 1, which has been the introduction, where we had completed the basic human aspirations and the fulfillment through right understanding and the resolutions, or encompassing the resolution for a human being. It's detail and solutions of the problems in the light of resolution. Unit 2 we had covered up, that is the understanding the human being and its expansion, which is we had covered up here that the domain of the right understanding starts from the understanding the human being, the knower, the experiencer, and the doer, the extents of the understanding the nature, existence, and interconnectedness and coexistence, and finally understanding the role of the human being in existence, which is human conduct. Unit 3 we have to cover up is your activities of the self, where we have to cover up the understanding the human being comprehensively as the first step, and the core theme of this courses, we are human being as a coexistence as the self and the body, and the activities of the potentialities of the self, reasons for the harmony and contradiction in the self as well. Unit 4 we have to cover up, that is understanding the coexistence with the other order. We have to cover up the need and the process of the inner evaluation through the self exploration, self awareness, and self evaluation, particularly occurring to the activities to the self here, and realization of coexistence, understanding the harmony in nature, and contemplation of participations of human and in harmony order, leading to that is comprehensively the knowledge about the existence as well. In unit 5, which is the expansions of the harmony from the self to entire existence, we had to cover up understanding the different aspects of all, encompassing the resolution, understanding the wisdom, science, etc., holistic way of the living for the human being, and all encompassing the resolution, covering for all dimensions of human endeavor, that is realization, thoughts and behavior and work, participation in the larger order, leading to the harmony of all levels from self to nature's entire existence. And then after that we'll discuss about the short answers for all these particular unit here individually. So here we'll be ending it up, and after unit 3 we will start discussing about unit 4 here. And before ending it up, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go through with the subscribe button, and please like, share and subscribe our channel, so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even you can also enjoy the video as well. Other than that, it's a huge request to all those viewers, those who have supported us from starting till the end, those who had subscribed to our channel, those who had given us suggestions, those who have appreciate us, all those subscribers, those who have supported us from the bottom of their hearts, thank you for all of you. And but it's a huge request from my side that is, please go ahead with subscribe and like and share our videos, because the videos will go many and more, and those people, that those students, those who had required of, you can just share those videos to those as well. Thank you, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion in the comment box. Thank you.